So in Florida, because of our hot weather, most people that are building a house definitely want to put a pool in. I'm going to go over today whether or not you need to have a pool cage built with your pool, whether it's a new construction home or whether you're adding a pool to your existing house, or if there's other options for you that may also fit Florida's codes. What you saw right there actually is the alarm going off. Is one of the safety features that we build with our homes, especially if you're building a pool, that allows that if the doors are open and a little child coming out, trying to get out to the water or the pool area, an alarm will go off to alert you that there could be an issue. In order to stop this alarm, when you go out, you typically just hit the button. Once the door's open, it'll give you a time frame, and then once the door is closed, it'll be off, it won't re-ring. So it's about 95 degrees today in Florida. So one of the things I definitely want to jump in this cold. You feel this water, it is absolutely wonderful. So the answer is, if you look at the way this pool deck is set up, is no, you don't need to have a pool cage on your pool in Florida, but there are some things that you need to do in order to protect kids from falling into your pool. So you'll see across the canal here, that's what I mean by a pool built with a pool cage. Okay, so that's what you see in a lot of homes. This home, we opted not to do a pool cage, but some of the things that we had to do is we had to install this perimeter fence around the piece of property here so that no one could come in and fall into your pool. You also saw the alarms that we put on that sliding glass door, and those are also on any type of opening or window or door that you could get from the inside to the outside of the pool area. Just in case a kid opens a window and tries to go off, that alarm will then ring. And also within the gate and the fencing of this backyard here, it's a self-closing and a self-latching gate. So if it's opened, it'll close the door, it'll latch to keep the safety of people from coming in that you don't want in. So now let's talk about the benefits and the disadvantages sometimes of having or not having a pool cage. So I don't have a pool cage on my personal property. When you go on vacation, you stay at a nice hotel or a resort area, they don't have a pool cage on their pool areas too. And I love it. Okay, first thing is that it keeps the pool warm if you don't have a pool cage. You're also exposed to the beautiful elements. So when you're out at your pool, you feel like you're in nature, you can see the sky, and you get to really enjoy. You get a little bit more of that sun that's beating down on you. So that's one of the big benefits, is that you're out in the open, you can enjoy the weather, you can see what's out there a little bit more. You don't feel like you're in a cage or in an area that's sort of confined. So it's a nice big open feeling. So let's talk about the negatives of potentially not having a pool cage with your pool. One of the things is maintenance. So if you look at this nice big yard, there's not a pool cage here, it's not elevated up. If you're, say, for example, cutting the grass here and you mowing the grass along this far line here, and you got your mower, you got to make sure that you're not going to be blowing stuff into your pool. You know, that's one of the things that could potentially happen, is that debris, leaves, grass, so forth, is getting shot in your pool. The second thing that I want to bring to your attention is, yes, there is wildlife and critters. So every once in a blue moon, you might have a lizard in your pool, some bugs in your pool. At my house, because I live on a farm, I actually had a couple little black snakes. Nothing dangerous, but they were in the pool. I noticed them, got them out. Back in the yard they went. So you do have that ability of having some of those things there. When you're typically using your pool, it's during the daytime. So right now I'm sweating, but there's no bugs, there's no mosquitoes. If you were going to use your pool at nighttime without a cage, then you have the potential to have mosquitoes coming and sort of bothering you there. But most people, just like at the resorts, use your pool and your pool area during the day. And during the day, there really isn't that mosquito activity that you see at the night times. With this house, we also did not screen in the lanai area because it's all open. So if those sliding glass doors are opening, you're entertaining with food, you have the potential to get more flies flying into the home. So those are some of the negatives, I guess, if you don't put the pool cage on. The positives, again, are going to be you're nice and open, you're out in nature, you get a little bit better sun. The cost is less expensive if you don't put a pool cage in. The pool is more naturally heated because of the exposure to the sun. So those are some of the positive things that you have if you don't put a pool cage on with a home. So when you're deciding to build a home, there is Florida code. You have to do something to protect people from getting in your pool that could potentially drown. They're worried about children. You have options to either do a fence, you can also do a baby gate, and you'll see we'll have to put alarms on any type of opening that gets out to the pool. So big consideration when you're building a home. Me personally, I like not having a cage. You personally may want a cage. So hopefully this answers some of your questions, whether or not you need to build a pool cage in Florida. And my name is Fred Price with Lauren Homes. Please subscribe to this channel. I'd love to earn your business if you're building in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Florida.